This show predicted video calls, online shopping, and even smart homes. But it also thought that we were going to be using fax machines until the end of time. Today we take a look at Tomorrow's World, the BBC programme that tried to predict the future. But how right were they? So I've not watched any of these videos, so we will be finding out together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way from 1965, which is when the show originally aired, and track their predictions all the way up to 2003, which is when the show finally ended. And we're going to take a look at whether any of the predictions all the way throughout are accurate as of today.
But now, a vital part of tomorrow's world, tomorrow's girl. What will future science and technology do for her? Or perhaps more to the point, what will she do with future science and technology? Tomorrow's girl could well look something like this, which is very encouraging for a start. But on her head...
Is it just me, or was the, which is very encouraging for a start, comment slightly offbeat and creepy?
With all sorts of junk. As for the face of tomorrow's girl, well, if tomorrow is a trifle long coming and she meets it with wrinkles around the eyes, then she can rub in anti-wrinkle cream made of proteins from animals' blood.
There is anti-wrinkle creams out there. I suspect they're not made from blood, but yeah, 1 out of 1 prediction so far. I'm not quite sure about the outfit or what time they were really talking about the haircuts a bit. I don't ever remember a haircut like that being of the style, but...
And emerge as smooth as new. Oh, and one other thing, the earrings. On Tomorrow's Girl, they wouldn't just be earrings, they'd be tiny transistor radios, light programmed for one ear, third for the other, every taste catered for.
The pub of the future, Mark 1 at Hackney Wick. In this pub, the question, what will you have,
Tonic, please.
I think I'll just stick with light ale. A nice scotch and soda.
leads to the unexpected. Press the button for a line. According to the directory, dial 143.
In some regards, this is sort of ahead of its time. So obviously everyone knows now, you go into a pub, you get your phone out, and you scan a QR code and you make your order. Now, obviously, this is the 1960s version where you think that you're going to be twisting a dial and keying in the numbers, which is obviously never... I don't think this has ever happened. But scroll forward 50, 60 years, they're pretty bang on with that.
Because this is an automated pub. At the other end of the line, it's a pint-sized computer that tells the barman what to pour and also adds up the bill. Every drink has a code, so does the table that placed the order. No difficulty catching the waiter's eye. It saves staff.
Imagine being a waiter in that environment where you've not only got to remember the table numbers, you've then got to remember the specific codes for each drink. A good stab at what might happen in the future. Obviously, we've gone one further. I'm pretty impressed with that for 1965, remember. Is it just me, or was every programme from the 1960s, 1950s, anything in black and white narrated by the same person? Because I swear down, that is what they all sound like. This is the voice that I associate with black and white television.
But how do you dial a fly out of your soup? Anyway, we're off to find a waiter. Good night. Oh, by the way, we shall be back same time next week with a preview of some more things from Tomorrow's World.
I've just figured out what the haircut looks like, and it's those weird hats that they wear in America. Well, they don't actually. I don't think they actually wear them, but with the is it a raccoon tail on? That's that in a haircut. Yeah, as I said, it didn't catch on. Maybe it will in the future. Maybe they were even further ahead of the time than they knew. 2027. Maybe it's coming to a hair salon near you.
Well, in the year 2000, I think I'll probably be the spaceship to the moon dictating two robots, or else I may be, I don't know, in charge of a robot court, judging some robots, or I may be at the funeral of a computer, or if something's gone wrong with their nuclear bombs, I may be sort of coming back from hunting in a cave.
Obviously, you can tell that this is very much of the time in terms of robots, space, nuclear holocaust, which he alludes to, deep in the Cold War. The space race was around this time, 1966. Was it 1967 they went to the moon? Around 1969?
Correct.
Somewhere around the late 60s.
I don't like the idea of sort of getting out and finding you've got a cabbage pill to eat for breakfast or something.
Well, I think...
Answers on a postcard for what we might think a cabbage pill is. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had one, because I don't know it. Maybe it is a 2026 thing. People could be smacking back cabbage pills right, left, and centre for all I know. Either that or it's completely wrong prediction. But you know, I'm happy to err on the side of caution with cabbage pills. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's a real thing.
All these atomic bombs will be dropping around the place. And it was... One will get near the centre, because it will sort of make a huge, great big crater. And then the world will just melt, and the world will become one vast atomic explosion. And it will become like a supernova, stars.
What a cheery chap. Quite a lot of fear about an impending nuclear war and apocalypse.
Atomic bomb and just blow the world into oblivion.
Blow the world into oblivion. How do these kids get out of bed in the morning? Christ, if they think that in the future, well, there isn't going to be a future, the world's just going to be blown up to oblivion. I mean, that's a lot of weight to have on young shoulders.
I don't think there is going to be atomic warfare, but I think that there is going to be all this automation. People are going to be out of work.
This kid, get this kid in 10 Downing Street, get him in the White House. This kid is a genius. No atomic wars. Correct. Lots of automation. Pretty much nailed it.
People will be rationed to the amount of things they can have, because if they had too many things, it would just squash their houses, and there just wouldn't be room for them.
I think it'll be people will be regarded more as statistics than as actual people.
Oh, here's another kid to invite to your party. Wow. I mean, people have always been regarded as statistics, I think, haven't they? So maybe he's nailed it.
I don't think I'll still be on Earth. I think I'll be under the sea. I think the population will have gone up so much that either everyone will be living in sort of big domes on the Sahara, or they'll be under the sea. Again,
she made a prediction. Busted. Brought out a song. Maybe we will be all living underwater. She didn't say anything about 3 tits. Maybe they edited that bit out. Again, sort of ahead of a time. We're not living underwater yet. We've got to wait until the year 3000 for that one. But she's misunderstood the brief, I think. She heard 3000. They said 2000. You know, we're all underwater. Her great-great-great-granddaughter's pretty fine, all that.
They're not going to have so many square houses, you know, more curves and artistic designs instead of just sort of box.
Wrong! Houses are still boring and square.
Animals as they have here, sheep and cows and livestock, but they'll be kept in batteries. They won't be allowed to graze on...
Depressingly accurate, I suppose, for the animals. This is a kid with the world on his shoulders. Look at that face. He knows what's coming, and he doesn't want to be part of it.
Be kept in buildings all together, all in one big building, and artificially reared so they'll be bigger and give more food.
Nailed it. That's the thing, I think. Genetically engineered animals, again, unfortunately.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. Morning. Good morning.
What nice people. Ah, my office. The perfect office. Just me and the work. Alone and efficient. Wonder if anybody wants me. Nobody to ask.
Messages.
Well, BJ39 will know.
Answers in the comment box what you think BJ39 is. I'm pretty sure he said BJ39. Look at those eyes. He's all alone. He's in his office. Nobody's around. It's the future. I know. Let's crack open BJ39. I don't know if I don't want to know where this is going, but we're going to find out what happens with BJ39.
I don't even have to go to it. Much better than a human being. Tireless and efficient.
Much better than a human being. He doesn't even have to go to it. Honestly, the more it goes on, do they know what they're doing? Is this on purpose? Either he's about to get a blowjob, or they want you to think that, or this was entirely innocent, which I don't know which one's worse.
Thing I want, it brings. Even company.
I'm just off to New York. Before I go, don't forget Charlie. Bye.
Well, recorded company anyway.
Charlie.
Of course, I could have taken it round to Charlie's office myself. But, well, the photograph's just as good. Anyway, old BJ will take it to him. Several copies. Wonder if it ever bumps into anything.
It's the voiceover that makes it even creepier. Flow of consciousness, over the top. Obviously, he didn't get his BJ, but it was supposed to be the office of the future. The little robot trolley that could come in handy. BJ 5000, all for BJ 5000. Just with different attachments.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about. Oh.
Just some different attachments. Might have been nice, yeah? Yeah.
Just me and my executive prism. It relaxes me. The great thing about machines is that they do what they're told. They leave you to get on with it. Never late, they're obedient, they're never sick, they never disturb you, or argue, or paint their nails.
Does this machine just do laps of his desk? Because that's what it looks like. It just keeps going around, and every time it comes round, there's something new that it gives him. Doesn't give him that BJ. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. So that was a little bit of a mixed bag in the 60s. If anything, the kids did better than the so-called experts, apart from their over obsession with the nuclear holocaust and the arid wasteland that the world was going to become. Let's find out if they fared any better in the 70s.
Traffic delays have become the classic metaphor for total frustration, and the dream of being able to flick a switch on your car and fly off out of the chaos on the roads must have been around almost since traffic jams began. Well, it's a little more complicated than just flicking a switch, but if you happen to have about £15,000 to spare, it need no longer be a dream. This aero car is the first German helicopter that's been built since the war.
Aero car? That's a helicopter. That's done as a helicopter with wheels. Seems like there's always been an obsession with flying cars, so I remember even when I was a kid, there was always shows about there's going to be a flying car, here's a flying car, look at this flying car. And turns out it goes all the way back to the 70s, and here we are in 2026. Still, let me just check. No, I can confirm from my own window there is no flying cars. Maybe 2027 will be the year. Maybe 2030. It just doesn't make sense to have flying cars, really, does it? You know, people aren't responsible enough to drive cars as it is. So what good is it going to do putting them in the air where they can smash into aeroplanes and buildings? Just imagine if you could just fly over the level crossing rather than have to wait in the traffic. And then also imagine 5 other cars in front of you doing the same. Anarchy.
The design is so inherently stable that autopilot and remote control can for the first time be regarded as a practical possibility for helicopters. The same 260 horsepower piston engine that the aerocar uses in flight is connected to the rear wheels by a hydraulic transmission to provide power on the ground. But the possibility of damaging the rotor blades limits its top speed to about 45 miles an hour. Anyone with an ordinary...
So you can only go 45 miles an hour. So it doesn't really function as a proper car. Doesn't really function as a proper helicopter. It's shit for both. But this is probably why they don't create flying cars, because any flying car would be worse at one of them or both of them. So just either get in a plane or get in a car is the upshot, I think. The big example that they've given is that you can get out of a traffic jam. But this assumes that you're the only person with the flying car. Imagine if everybody had one of them. You've got a traffic jam of 5 people, all in their own helicar thing, trying to take off at the same time. It would be an absolute bloodbath. It would be an absolute bloodbath. So stupid.
It's packed with sensors and controllers that aim to make this car, and any other built like it, more efficient, safer, easier to drive, less dirty in terms of pollution, and hopefully cheaper to run. Now, the most obvious innovation is down here. This panel gives readouts when things go wrong in your car, like this.
That's a thing. You know, the readouts telling you exactly what's wrong with your car at any one time. Nailed that. I don't know when it became a thing. Maybe early 2000s? Maybe? I don't know. Sometime in the 2000s, I think that started to become a thing. You get the dashboard warning lights lighting up. So, yeah, pretty bob on with that one.
Now, as each one of these readouts comes up, it's accompanied, as you can probably hear, by a high tone that reminds you to look down and find out what's gone wrong.
I'm not sure he should be driving this car. It's lighting up like a Christmas tree at the moment. This does seem really... Like, look at the amount that he's been fiddling around whilst he's on the motorway. Fiddling around with all these dials and stuff. Surprised he's not had a crash. What he needs is a helicar. You don't even need brake fluid if you've got a helicar.
Now here on the steering column is a device called Auto Cruise that ought to take the ankle ache out of motorway driving. You simply set the speed you want to cruise at and activate the system, and sensors picking up information from the speedometer.
Thank God for the sensors. Again, cruising is a car cruise auto cruise. No, cruise control. Cruise control was a thing, right? So yeah, nailed that again. I don't know when it came into being, but it exists. It is a thing. They've smashed that one. Well done, Tomorrow's World 1971. Into the 80s. Let's see if they have an obsession with what the future of the car might be. 70s. I'm going to give that a solid 6 out of 10. Heli car, flying car, obviously still not a thing, but all of the car improvements that they went through in the second part nailed it, I think.
The market is being expanded, hence the development of the portable VCR machine and the electronic home movie camera.
Ooh, check out the portability on that. Wow, look at those. Look at them. Carry them round, take them wherever you want. Video the family. It won't give you a backache. The idea that things were portable back in like the 80s, 90s, obviously the size of phones and cameras. Why would you ever need a portable VHS recorder or whatever the hell that is? It doesn't even make any sense. Where are you going to take it? Down to the pub?
Over here is what the battle is all about this time. This machine is capable of playing a video disc. This is the first of the genre.
Look at the size of that. Look at it. Oh my god. And why is it so scratched? What's he been doing with it? Using it as a frisbee? Christ almighty, mate. Protect your disc. I mean, what are you even putting that in? The size of the machine, you're going to have to slot that bad boy in. Christ.
Made by Philips. 6 years ago, we introduced it when it was in an early development stage. This is a record which produces sound and pictures. The underside of the record is a mirror.
There's the bad boy of a machine that you've got to integrate into your home entertainment setup. I don't know why it didn't ever take off. So I can only guess that that's an early version of the DVD, right? Okay, yeah, obviously discs are not that big. And they never have been as far as I was aware. Yeah, it predicted a time. It predicted the 2000s and late 90s maybe.
The gentleman that he is takes the cue ball out of the pocket and places it for his opponent. His opponent, the world champion of the year 2000, about to pick up the cue ball. Our champion is, in fact, not yet switched on.
He takes his time.
The opponent, the flamboyant Prendeville, Kieran, is waiting for the action of his opponent. Any moment now.
So this is a video about some of the robot fails from the 80s, and apparently this is one of the things that Tomorrow's World was most famous for. They would typically be broadcasting live, and the technology that they would be showcasing would often not work. Nothing says cutting edge like watching technology almost work.
Nothing appears to be happening. Let me introduce first of all... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, God.
And the opponent's back at it. He places the cue ball in the spot he wanted. It's on the yellow spot. Which ball is he going to pot? He's in for a big break. Takes the cue. A two-way cue and the red into the bottom pocket. But it's not quite there.
Even I could have made that shot. Why do you need a robot to play snooker? Is that a technological advancement? I'm pretty sure it's a human sport. That pull cue doesn't look regulation either, so it's cheating.
You're going to get another chance now, Sid. So do it right. I should say that Sid is not the latest in junk executive toys. He does have a more serious purpose than playing snooker or laying the table. The makers are aiming him at...
What a shit robot, to put it lightly. Now, I don't know if they're bringing Sid on multiple episodes on purpose because they know it's going to go chaotically wrong. The idea of the program is that we're predicting the future, so if you're bringing on crappy bits of tech, I suppose it sort of undermines the theme, but also it makes good TV, right? What a piece of shit. So we're back with predictions on the future from kids, this time in the 80s. How many nuclear holocausts are they predicting this time? This time, I think they're predicting 2020, so they've rolled it forward. I think they're keeping the 40-year time frame. This is from 1985. 35 years? 35 years? Carry the 90. Keeping a 35-year time frame.
Well, instead of a channel tunnel, you could have something like a space tunnel, and you could go to one planet to the other, like bypasses.
Obviously nuclear war worries me, but I don't think that'll happen unless they've got computers that press the button for them, because no, I don't think any human being is capable of actually pressing some button that...
I don't think they'll be living on Mars yet, but I think they'll still be living around here.
I think they may, unless they have another planet to go to, just there'll be loads of tower blocks, or people will be restricted to a certain amount of kids, and probably be computers running the country.
If only we did have computers running the country. They might do a better job, who knows. So far, similar lines: space, war, nukes, automation, people living in tower blocks. So this is 20 years later, and they're still thinking along the same line. To be fair, if they did it today and asked kids, what do you think it's going to be like in the year 2060, they'd probably say the same thing. We're going to be living on Mars. We will have gone to space. Overpopulation. There'll be loads more wars.
When it comes to wars and things like that, nuclear bombs, and then they're designing these different gases that can kill people within seconds and things like that, I think that aspect of technology should be wiped out completely.
Amazing, isn't it? 20 years later, and the issues remain the same.
The same predictions that didn't come true, ultimately, I think.
I'm going to route the very first video phone call in the country through to Portsmouth, where Maggie's waiting.
Hello there, Howard.
Hello, Maggie.
I love your shirt.
Oh, thank you. I like yours too.
I suppose they're going through the technology then. I suppose they nailed the trajectory that they were on. But we've got videos, we've got phone calls. It was a natural progression that they'd have both. It did take a lot longer though. This is still the 80s. And when did we start using video calls? Like 2010? The picture is obviously a damn sight better quality than those ones.
Did we get anything right? Well, the thing was that Tomorrow's Girl came and went very rapidly. Shortly after we made that prediction, paper clothes did go on sale, and they were cheap enough to be given away free with packets of soap powder. But they weren't very comfortable. Not only did they crease and tear very easily.
I don't think I picked up on the paper clothes from the original one. Are they going to mention the hairstyle though? That's the question. Are they going to mention the beaver tail haircut that never ever was in fashion? Or maybe it was, I don't know.
So what should we have said about Tomorrow's Girl? Well, we can forget the radio earrings, because how could we possibly have guessed that she'd wear a whole tape deck in her pocket and a computer on her wrist?
Is it a bit grandiose to call that a computer? I'm not totally au fait with the functionality of a Casio watch, but it was just pretty much a watch and a calculator, right? Or a computer.
Greetings, 20th century people. I'm wearing part of the gear of the future. Well, it may look like today's, but it's not what it seems. The suit is chemically treated to make it thermosensitive. It absorbs heat when you're hot, thus cooling you down, and releases it again when you're cold, so you maintain a constant temperature. Well, I don't have much in my pockets. A few smart cards, holograms of my family, and we've finally solved the problem of lost keys.
Smart cards are a thing, right? So they've got one thing, right? I'm not quite sure about the thermo, what do you call it, of the clothes.
Any in the first place. Each unique fingertip opens all the different doors in my life when I press them against pattern recognition pads.
I think that is a thing, but it's not necessarily a thing that's... Well, it definitely wasn't a thing in 2020. But do people even use it? I know you can get smart locks that are opened by fingerprint scanners and that kind of thing, but they don't... People still use a lock and key, right?
Also, carry my doctor round with me. A tiny biosensor under my tongue analyses chemical changes in my saliva and radios any changes that I ought to know about to my tie, which changes colour, so I can intercept most illnesses before they become a problem.
Look at that editing. The tie was green, the tie is grey. The tie was green, the tie was grey. Camera angle changed a little bit, but there's nothing to see here. It was the tie changing colour, not the camera angle. And not a different camera, not a green screen. It's the tie. The tie is technologically advanced, right? Speaking on the technology though, obviously we don't have things in our mouths, but there's those rings and the watches can give you some indicators of whether there's something wrong. I prefer this, walking around, it forces you to wear a tie all the time. People can be like, oh, are you okay? You're looking a bit blue today, or at least your tie is, which obviously means that you've got bowel discomfort.
I carry my office round with me as well. Now this isn't just a watch or just a TV phone. It's if you look, it might have Maggie underneath. Wave, Maggie. It's also satellite connected, so I can receive information, any information I want, from any computer I have access to.
So that is pretty, they've nailed that. Smartwatch, has a screen on it. I'm pretty sure you can stream video calls to watches. No, I've never owned one, so I don't actually know. But I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
Carry a printer for that information in my briefcase, so that when I get a message...
Why would you ever carry a printer around, though? What, like, this is the problem with Tomorrow's World. They nail something, and then they immediately shit all over it with another terrible prediction. I suppose if they throw enough predictions at the wall, some of them will stick, some of them will happen, some of them won't. But why in the 80s did they ever think that we would be carrying around a printer? Bizarre. You'd carry around a fax machine, right?
This is my 3D TV, and I can shut out the world for the brief moments that I'm still stuck on mass public transport systems.
Apart from the printer, that wasn't too bad, you know. We do have smartwatches. We do have smart sensors that tell you your health information. The headset, you can get VR headsets or 3D headsets that, you know, that look like you're immersed into a film or into a game or whatever. So yeah, not too bad. Here we go, into the 90s. So we're creeping up on modern day. What did they think in the 90s? Bearing in mind, the 90s was the birth of the internet. Technology ramped up. CDs, MP3 players started to become a thing, maybe early, no, it might have been 2000s, but automation around industry and that kind of thing. So I'm expecting these to be a little bit better.
But in the not too distant future, a helmet like this could help me to believe I'm in any number of three-dimensional worlds by putting me right in the middle of all sorts of interactive computer-generated adventures.
Look at the size of that thing. You break your neck wearing it. Christ. Similar theme to the 80s, headsets, VR. I remember this being all the rage through the 90s. People were predicting that we'd have headsets and stuff and you could watch films and everything. And there was a real obsession with 3D. Remember watching TV programs where you'd wear your blue and red 3D glasses?
Now, by looking through that window, you're able to see into the world of the computer. And by wearing the helmet, you're able to see it in 3D.
Since then, a new helmet has been developed so that the single TV set has been replaced by two liquid crystal screens, one for each eye. Well, this is some sort of landscape, hills over there, perhaps a lake, that white piece. Turning round, aha, a room.
Wow! Look at the graphics. Look at that immersive environment that he's been pulled into. Marvel at the technology. He's got this giant thing on his head that's hooked up to something else. Thing looks heavy, if nothing else. All to see this pathetic little clip art picture of a house and people that you could probably make yourself on paint and stick onto a wall. Hardly seems worth it, but technology, ooh.
But it doesn't stop at helmets. Electronic gloves and suits have been added to gear worn by virtual realists in California. The computer images can then follow all sorts of body movements and even let you handle virtual objects. Even car designers could test drive new models before committing themselves to the real thing.
I know this is just indicative, right? And it's not gonna, the final technology never looks like that. But in what world is this? Like driving around a car. How could you possibly do that, put a headset on, sit in that car that looks like that, and then make a decision to purchase a car based on that experience?
Imagine a world where every word ever written, every picture ever painted, and every film ever shot could be viewed instantly in your home via an information superhighway, a high-capacity digital communications network. That's already happening on something called the internet, that anyone in the world with a computer and a modem to connect it to a telephone line can subscribe to. There are over 20 million people connected up.
Be interesting to know what those numbers are now, considering it was 20 million in 1994. She's not said where that, if that's across the world, if that's just in the UK. It can't be just in the UK, right? That's like a third of the population. So in the world, 20 million is not a lot, is it?
Bill Clinton. And I know that because I used this computer to write to him today, and I've already got a reply from the White House, and here it is. Right. Thank you for writing to President Clinton via electronic mail. The President is committed to integrating this dynamic medium into the White House. Now, I can't electronically mail our Prime Minister, John Major, because he hasn't got a modem, and I can't find out what his government's policy on information superhighways is, because it hasn't got one. There's loads of useful information in here. You can get news, recipes, and I found this satellite weather map in there. And there are interactive services as well. This is a shopping centre, and here it says it's just off the information superhighway. That's its address, and inside there's a flower shop, and it shows me the picture of the.
Let's see if that website's still going to this day. Branch.com. It is now no longer whatever that shop was. Somebody else has bought the domain. Oh, what a shame. I think this internet stuff might actually take off. Maybe a few years' time, but this could be a thing. They could be onto something here.
We've got a setup here to show what they're aiming at. The idea is, from the comfort of your armchair, you'll choose whatever video you want, and it'll be played down your phone line to your own TV.
Netflix, anyone?
It'll not just be movies, though. There'll be other TV programmes too, like this travel programme I've selected here. Because it's interactive as well. Say I was wondering where he got his suit from. It'd not only tell me that, but I could even buy one here and now via the inevitable home shopping option.
Where's that advancement when you need it? I've always wondered what suit the newsreader's wearing and where I can get it. To be fair, it would be pretty cool if you could do that. The way consumerism is going, maybe in the future, who knows?
Imagine a world where families never disagreed about what to watch on television. Imagine being able to watch whatever you want, whenever you want. Say the whole back catalogue of Tomorrow's World, or the very first EastEnders. Sound too good to be true?
Netflix, anyone? We're in the noughties now. Obviously, this is another TV on demand plug. We know it came about. We know it happened.
Pay-as-you-view films starting every 15 minutes and soccer from 4 different angles. There's no doubt we now have more choice than ever before.
Hold up a minute. I remember the 2000s, and nobody's house looked like this. Christ, that is a loud sofa. Those are loud curtains. For a show that is supposed to be telling you about what's the future, decor very much in the past, I would say.
It's called ADSL, and the Balcombe family in North London are some of the first to try it out. Sebastian, aged 6.5. Dad, Jeremy. Tristan, 8.5, and Mum, Stacey Louise, are in TV heaven. They can each hand-pick their choice of programme to watch whatever they like, whenever they like.
It's quite annoying if the phone rings when you're watching something while the kids want something. And what's good about this is you just simply stop it and come back to it.
It's very annoying if the kids want something, isn't it, Jeremy?
Well, I like that you could just go on. There's no Spice Girls like in between. You could just watch, you just know what you want to watch, you go to it, and you can watch it.
Yeah, there's no adverts.
They predicted everything right, on demand, TV, all the options, watch whatever you want, all the time, apart from the no ads bit, although it depends on your subscription package, I suppose, but if you're a tight wad like me, you would pay for the ads.
Of all goods bought online, clothing is predicted to grow fastest. But while that's great for retailers, some people find that shopping by computer lacks the human touch.
You know what it's like. Never got anything to wear. I'm gonna have
Paris chic, there's nothing quite like it. Unfortunately, I haven't got time to go there, so can I get the feeling of shopping in Paris by using the internet? I'm trying out internet shopping with a difference. In this Paris department store, they've combined the technology of internet shopping with a live digital webcam. The idea is that
There was me thinking it was going to be a really accurate prediction about online shopping in the future. We all go online, we all buy our stuff. Little did I know that there was going to be a woman skating around a shop with a webcam on her shoulder, holding a laptop on a harness.
I type my shopping requirements and they're sent via the internet to the web shopper's laptop, so we can have a written conversation about what I want to buy. Letitia, my web shopper for the day, will skate off to find exactly what I want and transmit a webcam picture back. And what will happen now is I will be put in a queue with other web shoppers until it's my turn to shop. While I wait, an automated software system allocates my call to one of the 4 web shoppers in the store.
How did this never take off? I have no idea. What could possibly go wrong with people skating around a busy department store with a laptop attached to them, looking for items for somebody on the other end of the phone or the other end of a computer?
Right, so I'm going to ask them to have a look at that hats, please. But there's a problem. Something's not quite working. I'm not getting any response from her, so I'm going to resort to the good old-fashioned phone instead. Because the web shoppers are moving about, they have a mobile internet link relying on a satellite connection. So how clear will the pictures be? I think what I'm seeing is the corner of a hat, actually. And it's pink. But that's about all I can tell at the moment. Can you try it on? There. I think there's a bloke in the hat, though.
Girl, the shade of it all.
That poor French lady that was just doing exactly what she asked, wearing the hat for her, and she called her a bloke.
It's quite a nice bag. It's actually a bit difficult to tell how big it is. But I can ask Letitia to...
You can get absolutely zero appreciation of that item from that picture. Maybe one day we'll have roller shoppers, eh? Well, the future they promised us never quite showed up in most cases. Some hits, quite a few misses as well. Until next time, I'll be waiting for my flying car. Remember, always live in the past.